Hi everyone, and welcome back to Inside Echoes. I'm your host Aman. Today's topic is going to be generational curses. Generational curse is something that happens in the ancestry and is passed down and affects all the future generations until it is cured. It could be a toxic pattern, illnesses, patriarchy, addictions, father wounds, mother wounds, and much more. It could manifest as avoidance, submissive behavior, clingy and insecure relationships, detachments, commitment issues, feeling undeserving and unworthy of love, people pleasing, and much more. Not necessarily every bad behavior and pattern is a result of generational curses, but deep-seated behavioral patterns that have no other plausible cause have their roots in generational curses. Now, before we go on and describe generational curses in depth, we need to understand the concept of karma. Karma is a word that all of us have heard a million times, right? Everything we do here on this planet leaves an energetic imprint. How's that so? Let's see. Everything from creator to creation is energy. Even matter as the physical manifestation of energy. Everything started from the same energy source, and everything, including thoughts, perception, ideas, physical matter, and every inch of creation is the expansion of the same universal source that we call God, divine, the source, the divine energy, power, and so on. So anything and everything you do creates energetic vibrations, and energy, as we know from physics, can neither be created nor be destroyed, right? Therefore, that energetic imprint created by our actions creates our karma. When energetic impact is strong enough, as caused by repetitive patterns, behaviors, addictions, traumas, etc., a part of that imprint gets stored in the DNA or impacts the DNA and is therefore passed down the generations. This energetic imprint is strong enough to pass down generations after generations and affects the gene pool of the entire lineage. This is what we call generational trauma or generational curse. This can also be described in biological terms as epigenetics. It means environmental factors or experiences can alter the expression of genes, and those changes in genes can be passed on to the next generations. This implies that whatever we do in our lifetimes has the potential to subsequently impact and influence several future generations. And also, some of the baggage that we carry along with us every day is not even our own baggage, but belongs to our ancestors. But if we ignore it, as our father, grandfather, and even further forefathers did, and let it impact our lives, it is going to affect our children and their future generations. And it doesn't have to be from fathers only, it gets passed down from mother and grandmothers in the same way. Now that we have a basic understanding of what generational trauma is and how it works, let's talk about a few examples to have a better understanding how it manifests. A pattern of self-sabotaging or sabotaging any good that comes your way is a typical example of generational curse of feeling unworthy or undeserving. Anything good or any blessing coming your way seems too good to be true, and the subconscious believes that it is going to come with vendetta. Hence, subconscious rejects it without even the awareness of conscious mind. Once subconscious rejects it, the blessing disappears, as it is all about the vibration that we put out, whether it is consciously or subconsciously. Once our subconscious tells the universe it is not needed and we reject it, universe takes the blessing away as per the free will rule. Nothing is ever imposed by the universe. You always have a free will. Now, this pattern can be seen in conscious choices as well. With the trauma of unworthiness or not being good enough, we sometimes consciously hold ourselves back from happiness and blessings as we don't believe that we are deserving enough to be receiving those gifts from the universe. Now, think about how many times have you rejected or let go of or not taken an action towards something just because you did not believe that you were good enough or worthy of something? We stay in our cocoons all our lives, afraid of coming out and stepping in our own power because the trauma of being undeserving and unworthy has deep roots within us and therefore has strong hold over our self-expression. Say, for example, I have a wildly creative side and my imagination holds the power to change the world around me or at least change my own life. But I don't have enough confidence and faith in my own self to come out of my cocoon and be that beautiful, colorful butterfly, as I'm afraid that I won't survive. I'm even afraid to speak about my ideas because I strongly believe that they will be rejected by everyone and I'll be humiliated for it. How can my ideas be any good when I myself am such a failure? I'm not even worthy of the good that might come my way if I decided to be my authentic self. So, I seek comfort in following the crowd, as I will be safe in the crowd and I will never speak up or express myself or be my true self, as that way I will avoid any or all the conflict or humiliation. Isn't this true for so many of us? This also gives rise to people-pleasing, feeling of unworthiness and undeserving of any happiness and blessings, makes us seek worthiness from others' approval. We try so desperately for pleasing those around us just to get their approval. And as this gives us a sense of recognition, a sense of being loved or liked. In an order to gain everyone's good interest and approval, we crush our own very own course under our own feet. Excuse me for using such hard words, but it is the truth. Our sense of individuality, self-respect, values, and morals cease to exist. And our only sense of self-worth comes from the approval of others. All of this roots back to the subconscious feelings of being unworthy. Now let's talk about a few scenarios where we can understand the relation between generational curses and toxic behavior and patterns. We will see in the examples ahead is how generational traumas manifest in the individual behaviorism. The utmost desire to prove and justify yourself in every situation comes from generations of injustice and being unheard. Now, I'm not going to be naming or pinpointing the specifics due to the conflict of interest, but we all are well aware of the races and ethnicities subjected to injustice for generations. Current generations of those races have trauma of injustice so deeply embedded that they fail to recognize their power anymore and succumb to accepting social hierarchy consciously or subconsciously. The other example would be commitment issues. Being scared to commit to a relationship despite having the best intentions comes from the wounds of infidelity. Then hyper-independence, feeling insecure in life, and the subsequent hyper-independence that comes from it is because of the deep-seated father wounds. Providing for and protecting yourself from a young age seems to be the root cause of this generational wound. Similarly, detachment, avoidant behavior, volatility stems from unhealed mother wounds. Not only the behavioral patterns, but certain addictions in the families and also the result of ancestral trauma, ancestral wounds, ancestral curses. In the end, it all comes down to healing those wounds. Once you're aware of those generational wounds, your generational wounds that are impacting your life significantly, it is time to heal them. Because if you don't, your children will suffer from the same. And healing starts from the moment you decide to get healed. The second you set your intention to heal those traumas, to let go of that baggage that is not yours to carry, healing begins. But what's most important is for you to recognize those wounds that are keeping you stuck, and then intentional efforts to heal them. For example, to get out of the cycle of constantly denying the abundance and blessings, whether consciously or subconsciously, you need to start believing in your own power and fully embrace all parts of yourself. You have to have a firm and unwavering belief that you are enough and are therefore worthy and deserving of every happiness that exists in this universe. You have to see yourself for the miracle that you are. That cocoon has to go, because your beautiful wings need to expand into the infinite, abundant horizon that is your playground now. You do not belong or deserve to live a life of poverty, because you're a part or expansion or expression of that infinite, abundant universe or divine or source or God. God made you in His infinite wisdom and light. How can you be unworthy and undeserving? Recognize that power within you. You are divine. The moment you recognize yourself, you start healing that generational pain, suffering, and wounds caused by the lack of love and respect. So, sit with yourself, go within, and recognize those generational blockages. Don't do it for anyone. Don't do it for your future generations, but do it for yourself. Just because you're worth it. That's all for now in this episode. Hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care. Goodbye for now.